Okay, so our Panthers pulled off a great win last night. We're looking for a great playoffs, so we're very excited about that. And we have a nice week before winter break, so we're going to keep going on with systems of equations. We can round that out before we leave. We have a test on this on Wednesday. So we've been talking about systems equations for a while, and we want to look at graphing systems of equations. So you'll need your calculator for the homework tonight. So I might want to pause the video and get that out. And you'll write down a few notes as we go. So on your test tomorrow, it's going to ask you what systems of equations is to define it. So let's take a minute and do that. So since this is on your test on Wednesday, you might want to write this down. So our systems of equations is when we have two or more equations where we are trying to find common unknowns or might be better to say common solutions. Makes more sense, okay? So we're trying to find, as we've talked about before, whether they have one solution in common, no solutions, or all their solutions in common, okay? So that's a big thing for your test tomorrow. So let's look at this first example here. We'll call this maybe example 1. Let's see where we're at over here. Okay, we'll just name this one. All right, so it's in slope-intercept form, and you can see they have different slopes. So far we've been able to say that this has one solution, because obviously these are intersecting lines because they have different slopes. Our next step is to find out what that solution is, and we can use our graphing calculator to help us with that. So if we go over here, and I'm going to turn it on, maybe, get it to work. It's right in this. Hang on. Okay, couldn't get to my buttons. Okay, so it's already in y equals for us, so that should tell you that'd be very simple to go to the y equals here. We have two solutions we're going to put in. We're going to put in 6. Remember, this is the x button, plus 4. We're going to put that in y1. And y2, we're going to put in 5x minus 2. Okay, now I'm going to go to my zoom and make sure it's on zoom stat so that my window is set back to the original amount. Okay, and here I can see these intersect, but I'm not quite getting it. I think it's somewhere down here. So we're just going to zoom out. So I hit zoom, I go down to 3, and I hit enter. Now every time we want to zoom out, we just hit enter again. So I'm going to hit it. And I can see it's intersecting somewhere in here, but I can't quite tell. So you might want to write these steps down to help you find the intersection of these lines. So the first step is to go to second calc, okay? And you can see from our options here, 5, which is intersect, is an option. So we want to choose that. Now it says first curve, so we want to give it like a range to find the intersection from. So I'm going to left arrow down about where I think this intersection is. So maybe somewhere around here. Then I'll hit enter. Second curve, so I'm going to move it up a bit, about where I think the intersection is, here. So I'm giving it range, I think the intersection is somewhere between here and here, and I'm going to ask it to guess. And you can see it tells me that the intersection is at -6 and -32. Okay, so then for my answer here, I'll just go over here and I have the solution is -6 and -32. Now if I want to make sure that's right, I just need to plug this in for either this one or this one. Remember, this is your x and then this is your y. So I'm going to plug in -32 in for y, and then I'll plug 6 times -6 plus 4. So this right here is going to give me -36 plus 4. Does that equal -32? And -36 plus 4 is -32. Then I have to make sure it works for this one down here. So I'll put in -32 here, and then 5 times negative 6 minus 2. This is going to give me negative 30 minus 2, which is negative 32. So I know that that's correct. All right. Good. All right, and I can do that with all of these. I just have to put them into slope-intercept form. Okay, so let's look at this one first here. In order to graph it, I have to have it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to take my 2x minus 3y equals 4. Subtract the 2x over. You should be taking notes with me. Remember, this is 0. This is negative 3y equals. Remember, these are not like terms, so we write them out. And then we divide by the negative 3. I don't know why this keeps changing colors on me, but it is. So that becomes 1y. Negative negative makes it a positive 2/3 slope. And then I'm just going to leave that as minus 4/3. Okay? And then we need to get this one to slope-intercept form. So I'm just going to rewrite it over here. 4x plus y equals negative 6. Subtract the 4x over. So I have my y to bring down. This is 0 equals negative 4x minus 6. Okay, so my slope is negative 4. My slope is 2/3. So again, these are not the same, so I know they're going to intersect in one spot. So I'm going to go back to my calculator here and go back to my y equals. I'm going to clear these out. Here I'm going to put in 2/3, so it's 2 divided by 3x minus, and then I'm going to put in parentheses 4/3 so that it knows that this is a fraction. And then I'm going to go down and put in negative 4x minus 6. Okay, I'm going to go back to my Zoom standard, so it's always a great place to, or Zoom stat, excuse me, it's a great place to start. Oops, that didn't do it though. It's still zoomed out. I can tell it's zoomed out by how thick these lines are. So I'm going to go back to Zoom stat again and hit enter. No, it's still doing it. Okay, this really doesn't matter. I can see my intersections right here. So we're going to do the second calc. Go down to intersect. And again, I have to give it somewhere to start. So I'm going to put it a little bit to the left of where I think it is. Hit enter. And then put it a little bit, that's going up in the next line, to the right maybe of where I think it is. It's right in there. And then I tell it to guess. Enter, enter. What is going on? Why do I have two things there? All right, hold on, technical difficulty. Okay, see what I was doing? I kept saying Zoom stat to zoom in. I don't know why, but I wanted Zoom standard. So when I hit Zoom standard, then it gives me my 10 by 10 screen. Apologize for that. And then again, we're going to do second calc, and we want to see the intersection. So I'm going to hit 5. And so I'm going to move it to about where I think that intersection is. So I'm going to hit first curve, and then I'm going to go down to about where the second curve is. I'm going to tell it to guess. And then the intersection's at -1, -2. Okay, so then my solution here is this is a consistent equation, right? Because there's one solution, and it was -1. Was it -2 or +2? I think it was -2, right? -2. Okay, so those are two examples. I would like for you tonight to practice this one, okay? So that would be one example. Again, you have to get this into slope-intercept form. And then I would like for you to, let's do this one. So do these two examples on your calculator. You should say whether they have one solution, no solutions, or all solutions. And if they have one solution, you should tell me what that solution is. Okay? And then we'll work some more on this tomorrow and prepare for your test on Wednesday. Have a great night.